Hello and welcome to my channel. Today I'm doing a somewhat different video from my usual content, but I wanted to talk to you about something which really has bothered me for quite some time, which I thought about a lot as well. So the question I'd like to discuss today is it okay to be a noob? First of all, to specify the term noob here, because there are multiple ways to understand it. First of all, it's just noob from newbie, so a player of a game who's just new to the game. Or it can also be used to describe someone who's just not very good at the game. And this way is also often used as a insult. But yeah, I want to talk about someone who's not new to the game, but still not very good at it. At this point, I should also mention the term of a casual gamer, which can describe either someone who's playing mobile games exclusively, but also as someone who's playing a game not too seriously, just for having fun and stuff. Okay, so I'd like now to present my thesis on the topic. In my opinion, it's completely okay to be a noob or casual player of a game. And this also shouldn't be necessarily be seen as a bad thing. It could even help to maintain a healthy and fun atmosphere in the community of a game, which all people could be able to enjoy. And also should mention that it's crystal clear to me that not everyone can be good in a game. Maybe you don't have enough time or don't to invest into the game, or maybe you're just lacking some talents, you don't have the skills required to really excel at the game, but you can still enjoy a game even if you're not very good at it. And I also should point out that I'm seeing the topic from the perspective of a real-time strategy game player, especially, well, Age of Empires 2, it's the main focus of my channel, so I guess that's nothing new to you. But I would say this also applies to other genres like shooters or MOBAs as well. To myself, although I've accumulated quite some hours of playing Age of Empires, I would still consider myself as being a noob or a casual player of some sorts. And why that's the case, I'd like to mention 4 factors which really determine how good you are in a game. So, first factor is experience, which, well, if you have been in a situation already, you made some mistakes maybe, you can learn from those mistakes, and this really ends up being experience you get in a game. The second one is mechanical knowledge, so for example, talking about Age of Empires 2, counter units, which, so you see you're getting attacked with archers, you need cavalry or skirmishers to counter, maybe siege, whatever. Third one is strategical knowledge, so you know how to have your build order, when to use how many villages to gather which resources, when would you click up to the next age, for example, which units would you produce in which quantities, and so on and so forth. And the fourth one also is the awareness or map awareness of what's going on, having a good reaction time. Micro, this all is, well, more or less one thing to me. Well, I got lots of experience in the game, and I'm quite aware of all the mechanics. And also, I'm able to reproduce a handful of build orders, I should say. I sometimes tend to lose oversight over the action, and also my reflexes aren't top-notch, so there's also still some possibility to improve. And yeah, does that mean, however, that a player like me has really ruined the game or the fun in a game for any players which are more skilled, are higher ranked than I am when they're playing on my team? Well, I think this really is depending on the mindset of said teammates. So, you see, I usually, when I play against someone, when I know their gameplay is really inferior to mine, and they are a lot worse at executing their game plan, or maybe they don't even really have a game plan to begin with, I try to adapt on or react to that. If I play a one-on-one against a quite weak opponent, I will not strive for the utmost perfection of my build order or try to cheat them out of the game just because I can do it and it's easy to do. More often than not, I will find myself just, well, leaning back, chilling there, experimenting new strategies maybe. And even if I could completely annihilate them within the first 10 to 15 minutes of a match, I like to not do that too often because well, letting them build up their city, get somewhat decent army, and then having somewhat more of a decent fight is something I like to do personally. Why do you do this? You might ask now. Why lower your chances for winning a game just because, well, your opponent is worse than you? Yeah, I'd like to answer to that with, well, many people tend to forget this. At the other end of the computer, there's still another player just like you are one, and if you got stomped in absolutely every single game, you never even had a chance to get somewhat a foothold in the game, and the only explanation you get from why you're losing this often is, well, because you're a noob, instead of someone really pointing out what errors you did, offering advice. You will most likely not have too much fun playing the game. And since you tend to play games to have fun, this situation might seem less than ideal, maybe. Well, let me explain this a little bit further. I think it's really the responsibility of better players to offer some of their knowledge to players which don't possess that knowledge, when it's obvious that you defeated them just because they didn't have access to this. And again, this would probably lower your chances slightly in the case you're playing against the player the next time. But I still think it's really the responsibility of everyone within the community to keep a fun and welcoming environment, because, well, everyone was a new player at some point, everyone was a bad player at some point. And to illustrate this a little bit further, I'd like to tell you a story from my own experience, from my own life. So a few years ago, I got into the Magic the Gathering trading card game. I started playing at a local gaming store, and as you might expect, I really got my ass handed to me in the beginning. But the people there were very polite. They taught me a lot about the game, its mechanics and its rules. And since I'm a quick learner, after a few weeks of tutelage, I started to win a few matches once in a while. And this was really motivating me, and I invested more time into the game. And in the end, I actually won more games than I lost, even taking the first prize at one or another tournaments that time. But somewhere around that point, my perception of the game started to shift. While winning originally just was a nice bonus to a good game, I started to expect to be the winner. I got used to it, so I thought about the evening I was playing was a failure, even a waste of time, when I did not make it out first or second place. And while winning a close match always felt more rewarding than winning a very easy one, I sometimes even got to the point that I enjoyed when my opponents got totally screwed up by some bad luck, rather than running the risk of losing the game, because for me, it really started to count that winning was my main objective, and I did not really care too much about how I got there, because as long as I was victorious, I was happy. And since I was winning that regularly at that point, I even started to feel kind of superior to the other participants, and felt like that I deserved achieving high ranks as a result of that superiority. And if I did not win, that was for me either due to a stupid mistake. I also really also got angry about that, at myself at this point, and or my opponent just had, from my point of view, having well, being undeservingly lucky. And what really started to fade away for me there was the aspect of having fun as a result of the interactions that found place during the matches. And this was replaced by the rush I got from proving my superiority over and over by winning matches and tournaments. At this point, I should also mention that I never played above and beyond the local level, but for me and my perception of the situation, this didn't really change anything. And also, I changed how I felt about the game. I didn't change my behavior towards the other people there. It just was something about about me and my feelings about this. But at one point, I really started reflecting the situation and questioning also my attitude towards the game. Because I noticed that the amount of pressure I put on myself was not really worth the cause. And yeah, I started to change my attitude slowly towards it. And today I can say I'm enjoying the game more than ever, really. And I even can enjoy losing a game as much as I could enjoy winning a game. Since winning isn't the main or the only objective for me. But what I really try to go for is creating an enjoyable experience for all players involved. So, yeah. Okay, you might think this sounded pretty pathetic, and honestly, I have to agree to you some point here. Well, talking about your emotions in public, well, you know what I mean, I guess. But I felt like this story illustrated pretty well I was seriously pointing out. Because if the only thing you're striving for is victory, no matter the costs, it does, in the end, really hollow out the whole experience for you. At least for me, this did. So, yeah. How do I conclude a video such as this one? Well, I would just like to tell you that sometimes when you're being so competitive as something, that it actually results in being less enjoyable for you than it used to be. Sometimes taking a step backwards from that competitiveness can lead to more fun for yourself, and also creating a better and healthier environment for everyone to thrive in and to feel comfortable in. And well, doesn't this sound somewhat desirable? Yeah, at this point, first of all, thanks for sitting through all of this with me. And now I'm really curious of what you think about this topic. So please be sure to let me know your thoughts about the things I just talked about. And once again, thank you, and see you in the next video.